I guess we'll touch base on a couple different things in this video. But let's start with autonomous trucking. That seems to be everybody's pet peeve right now, and rightfully so. So, autonomous trucking, I think, is it's obviously bad for the trucking industry as a whole. Obviously, you look at companies like Hirschbach and McLean and Werner. I mean, these are some of the companies as of right now that have agreed to take autonomous trucks into their fleet, eliminating driver jobs. Now, you're going to have a lot of lazy drivers too that will gladly hop into the autonomous truck, sit there, not get miles for themselves, but that truck will basically pay itself. Why they just sit there and think that the technology is amazing, this and that, while they have no paycheck. But hey, that's on them. I think there's going to be a whole heck of a lot more accidents. I don't want my family on a road next to an autonomous truck hauling 80,000 pounds. You got to be out of your mind. Something were to happen to my family, that's my family, anybody else's family, lost its waiting to happen. That's point blank. Autonomous trucks are bad for trucking, but yet these corporations, they want them in their fleet. They want to cut truck driving jobs. They want to cut miles just so they can make a bigger bonus. Pretty crazy stuff. I also do think that there are going to be a lot of other companies too, maybe not mega carriers, but mid-size companies that value their employee and will keep them inside of a truck without ever going autonomous, which I can definitely see that happen too. So autonomous trucks are not good for business. They're good for mega carriers that their CFOs, CEOs, presidents, whatever, make their money, get their paychecks fatter, and eliminate hardworking jobs from people that depend on this industry to make a living for their family. It's crazy stuff. So now let's talk about Dalilah's Law and why that's important. So Dalilah's Law has not yet been signed into law at this point. They're dragging their feet to get it signed in, and it makes no sense, because basically what it's allowing still, when it comes to foreign truck drivers dealing with brokers overseas, they still get to run the cheap freight, keeping the roads still fairly dangerous, especially if they're undocumented and they don't know the rules. They can't read English, they can't write English, they can't speak English. So having Dalilah's Law go into effect would definitely put a curb to foreign brokers overseas, and definitely scale down the incidents and accidents we faced on the roadways from foreign truck drivers that have no idea how to read, write, and understand the English language. And it's not a race thing, at all. It's a common sense thing. And that would be like, again, me, if I were to go to another country, and I had to know their rules, I'd have to speak such and such language. Now, see, the thing is, as America, there is no English is not its official language per se, because America's such a melting pot. So obviously, you had that loser Trump basically appease his base and establish the English language as the official language of the United States of America, just like changing out obviously the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which it's the stupidest thing ever, right? So anyway, so there's really no universal language in the United States. It's such a big melting pot. However, in trucking though, if I were again to be somewhere in another country, I'd be expected to know that language and their rules and all that stuff. I just couldn't walk in there and get behind a wheel of a semi truck and go about my day. It's not how that works. So I think getting Dalilah's Law passed would definitely help the industry as a whole, cut back on these brokers, and definitely cut down on the foreign truck drivers who are here undocumented, hauling 80,000 pounds without proper, training, right? So that's my opinion. And then the other thing is, so we know parking is like this huge ordeal across North America, no matter what. Truck stops are always full. Rest stops are always full. Truck drivers are always having to, pull over on a off ramp somewhere, being a sitting duck, all that kind of stuff. And case in point, case in point, I'm over at Pilot. I was just here a couple days ago. I've been running between Texas and Colorado, delivering onions. But case in point, if you look, that's all of us over here, and then on the other side definitely says no parking, but you got all those trucks all the way down there. And I get it, parking's rough no matter where you go, but at least right now it's courteous, because even though it's no parking, they're far enough against the wall, or the curb I should say, where I think a majority of the drivers can definitely get out tomorrow morning. I gotta leave early, since I got a 5 a.m. delivery to drop off onions. But as long as nobody else kind of comes in and double stacks everything to make it hard for people up front to get out, that's what's important. So it's just sometimes it can be a little tricky. You just got to kind of navigate your way through it. But the important thing is it's always being safe on the road. It's always doing the best that you can. Things aren't always going to go according to plan. People are always going to be frustrated at something. The best bet is to really stay positive and just kind of try to deal with it the best that you can. It ain't always going to be easy, but just got to handle your business. So I guess just always kind of take care of yourself, and yes, help out your fellow trucker no matter what, no matter you see eye to eye or not. Helping each other out is going to go a long way, even if there are a lot of different things. So just take it easy, y'all. Until the next time.